Hello, welcome to the Jones Zone. Excuse the suit. I've just come back from work and decided to shoot this video now, while it's all still fresh in my head, what I planned this video to be. So, I haven't done a video where I've just been sat here talking, just like on a topic for a while. I've done a lot of buying stuff and showing you what I bought. But what I wanted to talk about is, it's sort of, I know I say I don't want to do like personal topics, but I thought this one was quite interesting because sometimes I have people ask me why I chose to do music when, I really talk quite passionately about film. And I mean, the truth of it is, I'm passionate about both. I'm passionate about music and I'm passionate about film, and it was very hard for me to choose a path to go down. And ultimately, I chose music. I did a degree in music. I love performing, and I love teaching what I know about music. And same can be said for film. Like, I love making the Doctor Who fan series. I love going to see films. I love writing scripts. I love directing. And I would love to pass on my knowledge. But I think film and music are quite symbiotic in relationship, because obviously you have the score in films, and most films, not all films, but most films would be very strange without music. I mean, my favourite composer is Hans Zimmer. Imagine seeing a Pirates of the Caribbean film without Hans Zimmer's music. Imagine watching the Dark Knight trilogy without Hans Zimmer's music. Imagine watching Inception without Hans Zimmer's music. In fact, any Christopher Nolan film that Hans Zimmer did the music for, imagine watching it without that music. It's weird. And sometimes scores become as iconic as the movies. I mean, think of John Williams, Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, E.T. So it was tough for me to decide what I was going to choose. I think what it really came down to was where I felt I had the most inspiration. And I was given the most inspiration from music and from my music teachers. Even though what's funny is I'm not very good at writing songs. I'm alright at writing film music, but I'm more of a performer, and I like to think I'll be able to teach it as well. Whereas I think I could make a film. So that's like the interesting difference, I suppose. But yeah, it was weird for me in school because I always picked both GCSE and A-level. I picked media studies and I picked music because until year 13, when I had to pick a university, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. And when I picked music, the original idea was to become a session musician and make loads of money. But then when I started my degree, popular music performance, you soon kind of, at least for me, I soon realised that I don't want to just play covers for the rest of my life. And I wanted to find a band with music that I liked, which is what they did, and I joined that band. And then throughout my 4 years at university, I wasn't really sure what the end game was. It wasn't until, must have been about midway into my 4th year, which would have been like January 2019, I think, which is when I decided to go down the teaching route. I always considered it an option because I always thought I could teach bass guitar, and it was always sort of like originally for me it was always like sort of a plan B, and then when I decided to actually choose that as my path, it's now very much exactly what I want to do. And what I would love to do down the line is, once I become a music teacher and I've taught music for X amount of years, I'd love to do a course to also teach media or film studies. So then I could teach both films and music, which are literally my two passions in life. I mean, whenever I show my Blu-ray collection, it is quite evident that I'm very passionate about film. And I the thing that the really connecting thing between film and music for me is film music. I love film music. It's probably, next to rock, it's probably my favourite type of music. I love listening to film music. I love listening to soundtracks, especially like Marvel ones, Hans Zimmer soundtracks, a lot of the DC soundtracks, anything John Williams. Soundtracks are my thing. So yeah, that's just sort of. I'm not sure if I've ever sort of dived into this before, but I just thought it'd be an interesting video to make, and you can all comment and ask me questions about music or film. Obviously I'm not an expert in either. I probably know more about music than I do about, well, I don't know actually. I like to think I'd probably know more about music than I know about film, but I did media for 4 years, but I did music for longer. I did music for 8 years, technically, because I did GCSE music, A-level, and uni. So I probably do know more about music, but I think what's the interesting thing is, I think I could probably talk more fluently about film and use like fancy words and make it look like I really know what I'm talking about. But that's just because I still remember a lot of it from media. Like, my favourite angle is the canted angle, or Dutch tilt, which is basically like, if you imagine this is the screen, you just go like that. So it just makes everything seem a little bit creepy and eerie. That's my favourite angle. You don't see it actually a lot in film, but whenever I see it, I get so excited. It's a weird thing to get excited about, but it is so exciting. And I also, when it comes to film music, I get really excited when I know it's Hans Zimmer who composed it, because I know exactly what to expect from him, and I know I'll like it. I even like soundtracks to films he did that aren't very good, like The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I really like that soundtrack. The film is not great. I just think Hans Zimmer is, for me, he's like my generation's John Williams, because a lot of the stuff that Hans Zimmer is really well known for was the late 90s through to the early 2000s, and I was born in the 90s. So for me, he's like my generation's John Williams. That's how I sort of view him. That's why I think I love him so much, because I would say, if somebody said, you have to decide now who is the best composer, who's the best film composer of all time, I'd say John Williams, because I don't think there isn't John Williams score that isn't iconic. Like, that man has written pretty much every iconic theme you can think of. But my favourite composer is Hans Zimmer. But yeah, I as much as I love Hans Zimmer, if you asked me who is the greatest film composer of all time, I would probably say John Williams. I might be on the fence about saying someone like Ennio Morricone, because again, like, if you've heard any like Western theme, it was probably Ennio Morricone. So, yeah, I'm not really sure where this video was going. I just sort of wanted to talk about, why I love music, why I love film, but why did I pick music, and then just sort of talk a bit more about film and title the video Why I Love Film. There's just something so immersive about cinema. it takes everything I love and sort of mashes it together, because you know, you have score in films, you often get great acting performances, great stories, great direction. You know, when a film is really good and all the elements come together, it's just such an immersive experience. It's a bit different when films are bad, because when films are bad, they I don't think it has the same immersive feeling. Yeah, I've been buying a lot of Blu-rays recently, which is why I think I decided I wanted to talk about film all of a sudden. Also, we haven't done a podcast episode for such a long time, so I've got a bit of withdrawal symptoms from not talking about films. And also, like, the cinema's shut, so I can't really talk about many films anyway, because there's nothing new. Also, because it's June, and it's looking like cinemas in the UK, at least, are going to start opening in July. And it looks like the first film that we're going to get to see is going to be Christopher Nolan's new film, Tenet. I just am all of a sudden incredibly excited to talk about film. I've had that that burst of new ideas, so I can't wait to do the podcast, because I'm just going to be brimming. Yeah, so that's why I love film, really. It's the whole immersive experience. It's it's just the idea of you shut off and you just let that film take you. You just let it take you on a journey. I very, very easily could have gone down the film path and gone into a career in film. But, you know, you choose whatever path that you think was right. And at the time, I was very, very confident and sure about music. And I still am. And like I said, my, dream would be to get to teach both, to get to teach music and media, or media studies or film studies. Usually, most places it's media studies, sometimes you get film studies. When I did media, actually, there was also film studies. So I'm not sure why I took media and not film studies. I think it was probably because I thought if I take media, I'm going to actually learn more about it in general. Because if you take film studies, you just can really focus on films. But I like TV as well. And video games, so I just thought if I take media, it's more all-encompassing. And I also did a module at uni, which was composing and arranging. The first year it was arranging, covers essentially, which was a bit boring. But the second year of it, because you pick a. My uni, you only get to pick modules on the second and third year, but I did the foundation year as well. So for me, it was my third year, but technically second year. And in my final year, composing and arranging 2, the module was called, and it was all, film music, game music, TV music. So that I loved. I was very much in my element. Yeah. So that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you liked it. Thursday is going to be an updated Blu-ray video. I've rearranged stuff. I don't want to show any of it yet. I just think it looks nicer now. So, and that's going to be Thursday's video. So we'll talk a little bit more about film again on Thursday. And I haven't decided what's going to come after that. You will have seen the announcement trailer for Doctor Who Tales from Time. That's what we've been working on. That's why I wanted to reduce the amount of vlogs so that I can really put a lot of time and effort into those short stories. So, thanks for watching. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on Thursday.